A broke Nigerian student steals from a ruthless Korean mafia boss and runs home, only to discover the man hunting her is her long-lost half-brother, and the secret she stole just started a war. Seoul glittered at night, but beneath its beauty lived shadows. Amora Okoye knew those shadows too well. By day, she was a brilliant Nigerian student on scholarship at one of South Korea's top universities. By night, she was just another invisible worker, serving drinks, cleaning tables, and pretending not to notice the dangerous men who walked into the VIP lounge. Men like Kang Min-jae. His presence alone silenced rooms. He didn't laugh, didn't mingle, didn't waste words. People feared him without knowing why, and those who knew why feared him even more. Amora had heard whispers. Mafia boss. Untouchable. Merciless. She never planned to get involved with him. Until desperation pushed her too far. That night, the manager pulled her aside. VIP section, he said. No mistakes. No eye contact. Amora nodded. But when she stepped into the private lounge, everything changed. Min-jae sat at the center, surrounded by men in black suits. The air felt heavy. Like danger itself had taken form. On the table beside him sat a sleek black case. Unattended. Or so it seemed. Her heart started racing. That case could change everything. She didn't think. She acted. Moments later, she slipped into a restricted hallway, found a hidden office, and, guided by instinct and adrenaline, cracked open a safe she had no business touching. Inside. Not money. Not gold. A flash drive. A single item, carefully protected like it held the world inside it. Just take it, she whispered. And she did. But fate doesn't let you steal from monsters and walk away untouched. You're either very brave, or very stupid. The voice froze her blood. Amora turned slowly. Kang Min-jae stood in the doorway. Watching. Waiting. Her heart nearly stopped, but survival kicked in. She ran. The mansion erupted into chaos. Alarms blared. Footsteps thundered behind her. Men shouted in Korean. But Amora didn't stop. She jumped fences, scraped her skin, tore her clothes. Anything to escape. By sunrise, she was gone. 3 days later. She was on a plane back to Nigeria. She didn't look back. Lagos welcomed her with noise, heat, and life, but Amora couldn't feel any of it. Because deep down, she knew. He would come. Days passed. Nothing happened. No threats. No strange calls. No signs of danger. For a moment, she thought maybe. Just maybe. She had escaped. Until the black SUVs arrived. They rolled into her street like a storm. Neighbors gathered instantly. Phones came out. Children whispered. Something about the convoy screamed power and danger. Amora stood frozen at the window. No, she whispered. The car door opened. And Kang Min-jae stepped out. Calm. Composed. Unstoppable. In Nigeria. For her. Amora's legs felt weak as she stepped outside. There was no point running. Not anymore. Min-jae stood across from her, his sharp eyes scanning everything, the house, the street, her, like he was memorizing it all. Her mother, Mrs. Okoye, came out behind her. Amora, who is this? She asked, confused. Amora's throat went dry. My name is Kang Min-jae, he said smoothly. And your daughter stole something from me. The street went dead silent. Whispers exploded. Stole? From him? Amora clenched her fists. I didn't. Don't lie, he cut in, his tone calm but suffocating. You broke into my home. You took what doesn't belong to you. And then you ran across continents. Her mother turned to her slowly. Amora, what is he talking about? Guilt hit her hard. I can explain. But Minik J raised a hand. That won't be necessary, he said. Then his gaze shifted to her mother. And something changed. Something deeper. Your name, he said quietly. What is it? Her mother frowned. Ngozi Okoye. Minik J's expression froze. For the first time, he looked shaken. What did you say? He asked. Ngozi Okoye, she repeated. Silence fell. Heavy. Dangerous. Unbelievable. Minik J let out a slow breath, his eyes darkening with something that looked almost like pain. That name, he murmured. I've spent years searching for it. Amora frowned. What are you talking about? He looked at her again. But this time, not as a target. As something else. Because, he said slowly, the flash drive you stole contains the truth about my mother. Amora's heart skipped. And her name, he continued, his voice tightening, was Ngozi Okoye. The world stopped. What? Amora whispered. Her mother staggered back slightly, her face turning pale. That's impossible, she said. I never. Minik J stepped closer. My father was Korean, he said. Powerful. Dangerous. A man who erased anything that threatened his reputation. His jaw tightened. My mother was Nigerian. Silence. I was taken from her, he continued. Raised in Korea. Told she abandoned me. That she didn't want me. His eyes burned now. But the truth was hidden. Amora's hands trembled. And that drive, she asked. It contains proof, he said. Proof that my mother was betrayed. That she was forced out of my life. That powerful people buried her existence. He paused. And it leads here. To Nigeria. To Lagos. To her family. Amora turned slowly to her mother. Mom, her voice shook. What is he talking about? Ngozi's silence said everything. Tears filled her eyes. There are things, she whispered, I prayed would never come back. Amora's heart dropped. No, don't tell me. But the truth had already found them. Minik J's voice cut through the tension. You didn't just steal from me, Amora, he said quietly. You stole the only thing connecting me to my past. A long pause. Then. I should kill you for that. The air turned cold. But he didn't move. Instead, he took one step closer. Or, he added. You can help me uncover the full truth. Amora swallowed hard. Fear. Shock. Confusion. Curiosity. Everything clashed inside her. If I help you, she asked slowly, what happens to me? Minik J stared at her. Then gave a faint, dangerous smile. You stop being my enemy, he said. And become part of my story. That night, nothing felt the same. Not her home. Not her family. Not even herself. Because Amora Okoye had just discovered something far more dangerous than a mafia boss. A truth buried in blood. And now, there was no running from it. The house felt too small for the truth inside it. No one spoke for a long time. Amora stood in the middle of the living room, her mind spinning. Her mother sat down slowly, like her legs could no longer carry the weight of the past. And Minik J. He stood still. Watching. Waiting. Like a man who had finally reached the end of a long, painful journey, but didn't know if he would find peace or destruction there. Say something, Amora whispered, her voice breaking as she looked at her mother. Please, tell me this isn't what I think it is. Ngozi closed her eyes. For a moment, she looked like a completely different person, not the strong, quiet woman Amora knew, but someone haunted. I was young, she began softly. Too young. Minik J's jaw tightened. I met a man, she continued. A Korean man. Powerful. Charming. Dangerous, but I didn't know that at first. Her voice trembled. He told me he loved me. Promised me a future. Promised me a family. Amora's heart pounded louder with every word. And then, she asked. Ngozi looked up, straight at Minute J. I got pregnant. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. Minute J didn't move. Didn't blink. Your father came back, she said. But not as the man I knew. He came with men, with power, with threats. Her hands shook. They took my baby. Amora gasped. No. I fought, Ngozi said, tears falling freely now. I begged. I screamed. But I was nothing compared to them. Minute J's fists clenched. They told me I would never see him again, she whispered. That he would grow up in a better world, without me. The room felt like it was closing in. And the name? Minute J asked quietly. Why did you disappear? Ngozi let out a broken laugh. Disappear, she said. I didn't disappear. I was erased. Amora staggered back slightly. So? You're saying, she looked between them, her voice shaking, is your son? Ngozi nodded slowly. Yes. Amora turned to Minute J. Her enemy. The man who hunted her across continents. The Mafia boss she feared. Was her mother's lost child. Which meant. Her breath caught. No way, she whispered. Minute J's eyes locked onto hers. Cold. Sharp. But beneath that. Something else. Say it, he said. Amora shook her head. No, this is crazy. Say it, he repeated, more firmly. Her voice came out barely above a whisper. You're my brother? Silence. The word hung in the air like a gunshot. Minute J didn't answer immediately. He just stared at her. Studying her face. Her eyes. Her features. As if trying to find pieces of himself in her. Half, he said finally. That one word changed everything. Amora let out a shaky breath and ran her hands through her hair. This is insane, she said. I stole from my own brother? A Mafia boss? And now he's standing in our house like what? Minute J asked. Like he owns everything, she snapped. A small, almost invisible smile touched his lips. I usually do. Amora glared at him. But for the first time. She wasn't just scared. She was angry. So what now? She demanded. You came all this way, found your family, what? You expect us to just accept you? Minute J's expression darkened again. You think this is about acceptance, he said. He reached into his coat and pulled out a small device. The flash drive. Amora's heart skipped. I came for answers, he said. And this? He held it up. Is the only thing that can give them to me. Ngozi's face tightened. What's inside it? She asked. Minute J's eyes hardened. The names of the men who destroyed my mother's life, he said. A pause. And maybe, yours too. They didn't expect the attack. But it came anyway. Gunshots shattered the night. Windows exploded. People screamed. Chaos erupted outside the house. Amora dropped to the ground instinctively. What's happening? She cried. Minute J didn't flinch. They found us, he said calmly. Who? She shouted. His eyes turned cold again. My enemies. Men in black flooded the street, but these weren't Minute J's men. These were different. More aggressive. More desperate. And far more dangerous. Stay inside, Minute J ordered. But Amora grabbed his arm. Don't you dare tell me what to do, she snapped. This is my home. For a second, he looked surprised. Then, something like respect flickered in his eyes. Outside, bullets flew. Minute J's guards returned fire, turning the quiet Lagos street into a war zone. Neighbors ran. Cars crashed. Fear spread like wildfire. Amora's heart pounded violently. This is because of you, she shouted. No, Minute J said. Then he looked at her. Dead serious. This is because of what you stole. Her breath caught. The drive, she whispered. He nodded. They don't want the truth to come out, he said. And now that it's here. His grip tightened around the flash drive. They'll do anything to get it. A loud explosion shook the house. Ngozi screamed. Amora grabbed her. Mom, stay down. Minute J stepped toward the door. What are you doing? Amora asked. Ending this, he said. She hesitated for a second. Then, I'm coming with you. He looked back at her. No? Yes, she said firmly. If this is my family, my past, my problem. Her eyes hardened. Then I'm not hiding. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then Minute J gave a small nod. Stay close, he said. As they stepped outside together, bullets flying, enemies closing in, truth hanging by a thread. One thing became clear. This was no longer just a story about theft. Or family. Or even revenge. It was war. And the Okoye bloodline had just become the target. The gunfire didn't stop. It only got louder. Outside, the street had turned into chaos, cars abandoned, people screaming, bullets tearing through walls like paper. Inside, Amora's heart pounded as she pressed her back against the wall. This is insane, she shouted over the noise. Who are these people? Kang Minute J stood by the shattered window, completely still despite the storm of bullets outside. The kind of people, he said coldly, who erase entire families to keep secrets buried. He turned, his eyes locking onto the flash drive in his hand. And we just became their biggest problem. Another explosion rocked the house. The lights flickered. Ngozi cried out as debris fell from the ceiling. Amora grabbed her tightly. Mom, stay with me. Minute J moved fast. Both of you, come with me. Now. They rushed out through the back door, ducking as gunshots echoed behind them. Outside, Minute J's men were already returning fire, forming a protective line. Boss. One of them shouted. We're being surrounded. Minute J's expression didn't change. Break a path, he ordered. Amora held onto her mother as they ran. Her mind was spinning. This started because I stole something. And now people are dying because of it. She looked at Minute J. At her brother. At the man she once feared. And realized. This was bigger than all of them. They reached one of the SUVs. Just as the door opened. A voice rang out. Don't move. Everything froze. From the shadows stepped a man, older, calm, and terrifying in a different way. Not loud like the others. Not chaotic. Controlled. Powerful. Minute J's eyes darkened instantly. So you finally came out, he said. Amora frowned. You know him? Minute J's grip tightened. I've been looking for him, he said quietly. The man smiled faintly. And I've been watching you, he replied. His gaze shifted to Ngozi. For a brief second. Even he looked surprised. Well, he murmured. This is unexpected. Who is he? Amora whispered. Minute J didn't look away. The man behind everything, he said. A pause. The one who took our mother from us. Silence. The air grew heavy. Deadly. The man sighed softly, like he was tired of the whole situation. You're still chasing ghosts, Minute J, he said. Your mother's story ended a long time ago. Ngozi stepped forward suddenly. No, she said, her voice shaking but firm. It didn't. Everyone turned to her. Tears filled her eyes, but this time, there was strength behind them. You destroyed my life, she said. You took my child. You buried the truth. The man's expression hardened slightly. You were never meant to matter, he replied coldly. That was enough. Minute J moved. In a split second, a gun was in his hand, aimed straight at the man's head. Then today, he said quietly, you finally will. Guns raised on both sides. Finger on triggers. One wrong move. And everything ends. Amara stepped forward. Stop, she shouted. Both sides hesitated. She looked at Minute J. Then at the man. Then at her mother. This is what they want, she said. More blood. More silence. More lies. Her voice shook, but she didn't stop. If you kill him now, the truth dies with him. Minute J's eyes flickered. Just slightly. Amara stepped closer to him. You didn't come all this way for revenge, she said softly. You came for the truth. A long pause. The gun in his hand didn't lower. But it didn't fire either. Then, slowly, Minute J exhaled. And lowered the gun. The man smirked. Wise choice, he said. But before he could move, Minute J spoke. This isn't over. His voice was quiet. Deadly. I'm not the child you took anymore. A step forward. I'm the man who will expose everything you try to bury. For the first time. The man didn't smile. Sirens echoed in the distance. Police. The attackers began to retreat. The man stepped back into the shadows. This world isn't kind to truth, he said. Be careful what you uncover. And then, he was gone. Silence returned slowly. Broken. Heavy. Amara turned to Minute J. So, what now? He looked at her. Not as a target. Not as a stranger. But as family. We finished this, he said. He held up the flash drive. Together. Ngozi stepped closer, placing a hand on both of them. For the first time in years. A broken family stood in one place. Not whole. But no longer separated. As the sun began to rise over Lagos, one thing became clear. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a war for truth. And this time, they wouldn't run.